Let me tell you one thing. No one on this earth is obligated and is built, neither are they obligated to carry all of your baggage, and neither should you expect that from them. Because you have trauma, because you have baggage, means that everybody else has to deal with it. No, every single person and every single individual has experienced trauma. It may not be the same as yours, but they have a past. Every single one of us have a past. Do you know how many relationships fail just because the other individual in the relationship was giving so much, but then you decided to be the person that is giving less because you have so much going on in your life. You have trauma, you have things that nobody would understand, but they also have some things that nobody would understand. They also have baggage, but you don't see them making it their entire personality. You don't see them not pouring into that relationship just because of their trauma. You see them actually trying to show up and trying their absolute hardest, and them trying their best and giving it their all without any complaint. Many relationships fail just because one individual in the relationship didn't want to work on themselves, because that person doesn't have emotional intelligence, because that person refused to heal. You know what makes it even worse? That person who has been in a relationship with you has wasted so much time because they have gained little to nothing out of this relationship other than learning not to waste their time, other than learning that they're not obligated to carry someone else's baggage. They have poured so much into you, but then you forgot to pour into them because your thoughts and your decisions and your past, and your constant overthinking and living in your past. And just imagine if the tables were turned. You wouldn't like it, and you would have felt like you wasted your damn time trying to fix someone, trying to mold someone into what you want them to be, into a person that is the best version of themselves, probably. Imagine stepping out of that relationship. You are drained because that person feels like an absolute vampire, because you've forgotten to pour into this relationship because you were too distracted with your own self. And because you didn't pour into this person, it automatically affects that person so much. And I'm going to talk about the significance of that later on in the video. In this video, we're gonna literally be talking about how to let go of your emotional baggage, but also to recognize the dangers of your own emotional baggage, because a lot of people don't realize how much their emotional baggage gets in the way of a lot of things. So the first thing is closely links with what I previously said about how this person is pouring into you and you forgot to pour into them. Your own emotional baggage can cause you to become such a person that you wouldn't even recognize, wouldn't even think of, because probably it's not even in your thoughts or whatever, but it's just the way that you're acting based on your emotions, based on your past, and based on your experiences. And the thing about this is you end up being very selfish, whether you did it on purpose or whether it was not even your decision. You didn't even think, or you're not even the type of person who is selfish, but you end up doing a lot of selfish things within this relationship. When people say like you give someone your hand and then they want the entire arm, that's the person you become when you let your emotional baggage take control over you. And it can instantly make you a villain, and it's going to be valid based on the event and the experience within itself. An unhealed version of yourself, and a version of yourself that hasn't grown and morphed into the person that they want to become, is in a relationship where they're the most loved and they're the most cared for, but they're not in the right headspace for that. They are not really open to receiving it, or receiving it in a way that that they should. And you're in this relationship with a person who would do anything if you simply asked, if you just uttered the words. And the thing is, once you are in that type of situation, and let's say you're in a relationship where you can tell that the level of your feelings is not really at the same level as the other person's feelings. And the thing is, once you see that this person likes you more than them, you can automatically turn into this person who's going to take advantage of that, in a sense where you can see this person will do everything and anything for you, and you're gonna try to take advantage of that. You're gonna try to take advantage of them, sometimes unknowingly, because it would start with something small and then it will morph into something that is even greater and even big. So That's the thing. But the thing is that takes away so much from the other person, because the person can only do so much up until they're officially done. You'll end up being selfish, because for some people this is how it starts, because not everybody has the same approach or the same beginning or the same thing that basically shapes them into being a selfish individual. Some people have been way too kind, and that has forced them to be a lot more selfish in a sense, you know, because they've given already so much to people who don't appreciate it. And then other people are driven by exactly what I'm referring to, which is they are not receiving those things for themselves. That love and that care that they're getting from that other person is something that is foreign to you, right? Because you're this unhealed person who hasn't grown to love themselves and experience themselves and develop this emotional resilience and everything. So you're getting that from another person, and it's something that's so foreign to you that you would do anything just to keep it. And because of your own selfishness, in a sense, because you've never given that to yourself and you've never received that in your life, you're automatically going to cling onto that thing, and you're going to want it for yourself, even if it's at the expense of the other person. And in the moment you may not realize it, but you can morph into this person who's just so toxic and who just thinks about themselves and how they're going to benefit in this situation. And then from that, it doesn't just end with that single relationship, because it just depends on that person if they're bound to leave you or not. Once they've left, that's how you're going to show up in every single relationship of your life. You're going to expect people to drop everything for you and just be there for you. But you need to realize that other people don't even want to look at your emotional baggage, because they way too focused on themselves, and they have their own problems. And I think that's another part that people need to realize about having your baggage. Like, you can have your baggage, everybody has baggage, and it's valid, and I'm not trying to invalidate it, but the thing is, you have to consider others and what they're going through as much as they're considering what you're going through and what you have gone through. Second danger is it can damage and destroy your mental health. The thing about this one is you are expecting something good to happen, because you've been stuck in a cycle, you've been stuck in a loop where everything has been going bad. Mentally you're bad, emotionally you're crushed, just everything in life, your love life is bad, everything is just bad. But you obviously want these good things because you finally want to move on from this state that you're in right now, and that's valid within itself. But then the thing is, if you're in a state of mind where everything has just basically taken such an emotional toll on you, there is no way that you are going to be able to receive anything good and to receive any of those blessings. And that is because you are acting as if you have to carry your emotional baggage. You've been carrying your past on your back. You've been carrying your emotional baggage on your shoulders, and you've been doing it on your own. And the thing is, you refuse to let that baggage go. Wherever you go, you're carrying that baggage with you. Wherever you go, you want to be reminded of all the bad things that happened to you. In life, you're meant to heal and move on. Yes, we're never going to be fully healed, but does that mean that we can't work on ourselves? When you're in that state of mind, you're never truly going to be able to be yourself and experience such good things. So how can you ever expect to receive those things if you're in that state of mind? It literally makes no sense. Number 3, it could lead to a big strain with your relationships, whether that is your platonic or your romantic relationships. And the reason why I say this is because I touched a bit on this one in the first point, where I was saying how it's gonna affect the other person in the relationship, and that was in a romantic type of relationship. But it can literally apply in any relationship. Imagine you're in a friendship with a person who just cannot let go of their past. Everything is a constant reminder. Everything that they do, everything that they say, the way that they act, the decisions that they make is driven by their past. And it's not in a healthy way. And my thing is, if you're constantly going to be with a friend or associated with someone who is constantly going to be thinking about how bad their past was, what happened in their past, why their past sucks, why their past is this, why their past is that. It's their past. You don't want to be friends and associated with someone who's just fixated on their past. all you have right now is your present. And that is what you should take advantage of, because this present is something that you're never going to get back. Whereas your past is something that is long gone and there's nothing you can do to reverse it. That's the whole point of forgiving and moving on, so that you can show up as the person that you are right now in a better essence. Like, that's literally the entire point. For you to be constantly going back to your past and actually even wanting to live as your past self is actually insane within itself, because it's like you have such a blessing in front of you right now, and that's your present. Another way it can actually strain your relationships, other than just the person fixating on their past, is because this person has experienced so many emotionally crappy things in their lives. There are things that person can develop, like trust issues, guilty. And I've personally seen in my life how it has affected the other person on the other end. Because the thing is, with that other person, they'll never ever truly feel like you're taking them seriously. The worst part about these things is, like, I'm able to see that and I'm aware of that, but it's just this part of me that can never fully trust. And you know what, you can't blame those people for giving up. Because the thing about people not trusting you is that it gets tiring, because it shows the other person that, okay, you're not taking me seriously, because everything that they say you're not going to take seriously. I've been through that situation. I've said those words to somebody else. The one thing that you should tell yourself is that, you know what, if this person walks out of your life, you're going to be absolutely okay. Like, that's the main thing. Because the thing is, right, with having emotional baggage and all of these things, just be careful about like how you go about with your emotional baggage type of thing. Because the thing is, you don't want to do it in front of the wrong person. You don't want to let go, or you don't want to shove all your emotional baggage onto someone that you truly care for and appreciate. Because the thing is, it's very different from a person that you don't really care for and a person you do care for and you love. Because the thing is, with that person that doesn't really care, when they walk out of your life, you couldn't give two craps. But I'm telling you now, if that other person that you love and you've pushed them away because of your emotional baggage, because of your past experiences and everything, and because of your past, and you've pushed the person that loves you and cares for you, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. Which is why I will always put an emphasis on healing and moving on and forgiving these people from your past and whatnot. Because that person who's living a very happy life right now is doing okay. They're doing fine. But then you're the one who's on the other end. You're the one that's suffering now because you've let go of someone who truly cares for you just because of a past experience that no longer exists. So just be careful. Just be careful with that one. Number 4, another thing with your emotional baggage is that it could lead to you self-sabotaging. Because when you're self-sabotaging, right, that will automatically also deteriorate your mental health. And so the thing is, with your self-sabotaging, it could come in forms of, like, you know, you're procrastinating, but that's not even what we want to talk about right now. It can come in a form where you are engaging in self-destructive habits, and those destructive behaviors could you be giving into drinking and smoking. You can drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever you like because it's your life. But my thing is, a lot of people try to run away from their past and their present and their responsibilities via drinking and smoking. Let me tell you something. I'm actually gonna hold your hand when I say this. Your reality will always be waiting. No amount of drinking or smoking will make your problems go away. So show up for yourself, not for anyone else but you. Because the thing that people get twisted is that if they drink and they smoke, is that they're going to be able to escape reality, you know, by getting high and all of these things. And I'm like, you can do it for your own enjoyment, but don't let it be a thing of like you're using it as a coping mechanism. Because you're going to reach the age of 40 No, you're gonna reach the age of 45, pushing 50. You're gonna reach the age of 50, your late 50s, pushing 60. And you're gonna look back on your life and you're gonna realize that you haven't truly lived. Because half of the time you were having fun. And my thing is, if you can only truly ever have fun by doing all of those things, I believe, it's my opinion, is like you're not truly having fun. There's no use in escaping your reality. And if you're drinking and smoking for the sake of saying that you're having fun, and for enjoyment, that's okay. But it should never be something that you're going to rely on, because you're going to be realizing half of the time that you were drunk and you were high and you were all of these things, you weren't truly having fun, and your life truly wasn't that good, aside from those moments where you were just drunk and intoxicated and high and all of these things. And you're gonna realize that your life at a certain age, in those late 50s, 60s, 40s, whatever, that your life truly wasn't that enjoyable. You didn't truly live as the person that you probably would have wanted to. And what the thing is, you're gonna have to also realize that it's all your fault and that you have nobody else to blame, because you had this decision to heal and to move on, or to escape your reality and think that you could escape for a lifetime, or to escape your reality temporarily, by the way. Number 5, it can also affect your daily life. Imagine your own emotional baggage is literally affecting you every single day, because it can decrease your productivity. Hence, you're not achieving all of your goals. All you have are dreams and wishes. You're not taking any steps to actually achieving your goals. Do you even have goals? Probably not, because all you can think of is your past. All you can make the center of your life. The center of your life is literally your past experiences. You're living your life like you have no purpose. So obviously things aren't going to go well if you're living like you have no purpose. Now on to the last and final chapter that everyone has been waiting for. Letting go of your emotional baggage. Now, we've spoken a lot about letting go. We're talking about letting go of certain relationships, certain people and friends and whatnot. But in this sense, we're going to let go of something that belongs to us and something that we're supposed to heal and move on from. And that is your emotional baggage. So the first thing is, I would like to put a great emphasis, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend this point. And that is just to hand it over to the Almighty. Because the thing about this is that you need to stop thinking that you have to be in control and that you should have to fix and everything has to be on your shoulders for the rest of your life. Absolutely not. Every challenge that comes your way, you don't have to face it alone. The Lord will be with you forever, and He will always be with you more than anybody else in your life. More than your family, more than your friends, more than your therapist. I remember there was a point in my life where all I could do was overthink. It was probably my hardest thing to like literally let go, and it took a lot of time because I would overthink over like the stupidest things even. But actually, once I handed it over all to God and stopped stressing about these things, no matter how big or small they were, and just handed it over to them, I just felt like there was a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I just felt like there was a lot more room for me to do certain things that I wouldn't have even thought of in my life if I hadn't had handed it over to the Lord. So that's my recommendation to you guys. The baggage that you have right now, it doesn't have to be everything. It doesn't have to be your everything right now. It doesn't have to be yours to carry alone. You can also do your own fair share, because the mistake people make is that they think they can just pray about something and say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm handing it over to God and whatever. But they actually also themselves not taking the steps to also help them move forward, because God only helps those who help themselves. Number 2, a very, very important one yet again, and that is to cut people off or to remove any person or any people that resemble or have a certain trait that is more or less the same and resembles like some other toxic person in your life. And the reason why I say this is because God will give you the same situation in different forms, in different ways, and in different bodies. And my thing is, there are so many of us in the world that don't even realize how similar and how alike we are. So obviously you're going to meet someone who's exactly like the person of your past. I'm sure you've met someone where you could say, oh my gosh, you remind me of X, Y, and Z, because you're exactly like them. And it can be positive or negative. But I'm just looking in a negative sense. That person is just toxic, they're a narcissist. Literally think about every person who has hurt you in the past. Think about their traits, their characteristics, how they were, their behaviors, and what, like everything. And any person who just gives you a negative vibe and just kind of serves as a reminder of that person, take that person out. Take that person out, take that person out, take that person out. It's a test for you to see if you've learned from your past. Number 3, reflect on your past and come to terms with it. So the hardest thing is people being in denial about what has happened, and they're in disbelief about everything that has happened to them. Yes, you can be in disbelief, and I'm not trying to invalidate it. But my problem is, and my problem always will be, making it the center of your life and making it everybody's problem. Because automatically, when you do that, every relationship that you're going to form going forth is going to be affected by you, you know, because those things and those type of behaviors and everything, they're going to reflect into your relationships, and you don't want that. You know, sometimes we can also be very avoidant, and we're just, instead of being, you know, in denial, now we're avoidant. Like, even worse, now you're avoiding your negative past experiences, the people that have hurt you. You're ignoring all of the situations because you think that's gonna heal you. Absolutely not. Yeah, what happened to you wasn't great and it hurt, but the thing is, you also need to recognize that and heal from that on your own, and not expect somebody else to come and heal you and save you. That's not the responsibility of any other human being. Obviously, we're going to encounter people who are going to become such a blessing in our lives, but we're going to wonder if God hadn't put that person in my life, where the heck would I be? But the thing is, you also need to become that person for yourself. You can't wait and then sit by and think someone is going to be sent for you without you doing anything. Come on. Yes, people are going to become blessings in your life, but become your own. For example, also realize that there's nothing you can do about your past. All you can do is honestly just make peace with it, and realize that it's affecting you more than it's affecting the other person. And with that being said, you guys have come to the end of the episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I did. I actually really enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys did too. Comment down below if this video helped, if you guys would like more videos like this. I don't know, just say whatever you want to say in the comment section, and I'll respond to all of your comments. And with that being said, you guys have come to the end. Make sure to follow all of my socials, and yeah, bye.